What's going on, everybody? John here with MachMotorsport. Today we are taking the Miata for its first inaugural competition event, I guess you could say. This isn't the normal racetrack where you would see me, but rather autocross. This is actually how I started racing. Was through autocrossing, and if you're unaware or unfamiliar with autocrossing, it's essentially a miniature course layout set up by pylons and a big open parking lot. It's a timed event. You're categorized into different categories depending on your vehicle setup and all that good stuff. And yeah, you're basically going through a series of cones to try to establish the best time in your class. The nice thing about this is it's tight and technical, which really, gets you to get the car to move in a way that, wouldn't be the same as if you were on a racetrack, for instance. It's a condensed version of a racetrack, so you kind of have to be a little more quick, a little more responsive, I guess. The transitions from one end or from one corner to another change very dramatically. And as a result, this is a great place to start racing, and it's very inexpensive. And as far as car control, amazing. So we're going to get started.
I think he wants more speed sweet to lead he doesn't have enough speed after that.
And yeah, I've already done 2 runs today. So now that I've gotten broken in.
Alright, let's go ahead.
Traction control's on, so not going to get the best bite out of it, but this course is being torn up pretty bad. Fortunately, limited. The thing with autocross, it's about finesse. Fun. And you don't want to hit any cones. I probably should emphasize that. But that was smooth. That was very smooth. I've got one more run left, so I can immediately jump back in line. And this is the downside to autocrossing, is sometimes you have to share a parking lot with a in this case, it's a casino. So people get awfully confused as to where they can park. And then blockade. Anyway, how do I compare it to the Type R? I mean, well, I hadn't taken the Type R to an autocross event. However, just in something like this where you're condensed area, my feeling is that the Type R would have understeered dramatically. It's a longer wheelbase car, so it's not nearly as nimble as this is, nor as balanced. I mean, the Miata is touted as having near perfect 50-50 weight distributions. That being said, it's really evident out on course. This car is really well poised, it's really well balanced, and it's very direct. The inputs are very direct. You turn the wheel, the car rotates. You get on throttle, the car will rotate with you. That's really kind of the nice thing about this platform, is that it really is a simple and very easy vehicle to drive at the limit. Look at the direction you want to go, point the wheel to that direction, it's going to turn in, and then you complete the direction by throttling. It's really a simple principle, and it works really well in this chassis. Unlike, front wheel drive, the balance is better here. The nose doesn't have a tendency to, the car doesn't have a tendency to be nose heavy. It doesn't want to plow forward. And it rotates rather easily, whereas in a front wheel drive car, you got to do a lot of modifications to get it to rotate. Specifically with alignment and rear sway bars and tightening up the rear end, stiffer dampening spring rates, all that stuff. In terms of doing this Miata in complete stock form, I'm really impressed. These things are really notorious for, or being known rather, for a lot of body roll. And although there is body roll, don't get me wrong, it's out there, there doesn't appear to be as much body roll, or I'm experiencing less body roll than I thought the car would have. So when driven at the limit, it actually stays rather composed. And yeah, I'm thoroughly impressed. This is really, really fun. For those of you watching, the car has got basically 1,000 kilometers on it. So it's still pretty new. For you Americans watching, that's probably about 600 miles or so. So yeah, I mean, I've driven the car. I feel like it's more than broken in. Modern cars, they just need to be broken in for the friction material mainly. First couple hundred miles or kilometers, the pistons are seated, all that is done. I mean, there's a lot of different opinions one way or the other, but you could go out and get an engine built for you for any car or any application, and guys will usually do a couple of street runs and this and that at a moderate level, vary the RPMs, and then they'll go for a dyno session with not even a few hundred kilometers on a brand new built motor. And these motors are all built to relatively similar spec. They are manufactured in a mass-produced facility, and regardless of that, that's what warranty's for. So I'm gonna enjoy it, because that's why I bought the car. It is a little dusty on track. Finding it not bad. I mean, my grip level seems to be okay. That being said, I haven't turned off the traction control because I do feel to some degree it is helping me. Maybe in the afternoon we might test our luck and turn off the traction control and see how that goes. But I really want to become familiar with the course and the layout, get comfortable with where I can, and maybe get some time or initiate some time and then go from there. As far as I can tell, I haven't hit any cones, so that's a good thing.